All right, guys, welcome back, man. This is going to be a fun episode.
Let's see if we can get through this one.
We already had an episode before the episode.
Yeah. Check the octaves on this joint.
Yeah. So we got to cast the characters here today, man. To say the least.
Friends of the show.
To say the least. To say the least. So we got Ray Daniels out of Atlanta.
Let's go.
By way of New York originally.
He had to say it.
Nah, he's from New York. Ray is from New York. He is a cultural referee, but we're not letting him just claim this Atlanta thing. He's going too far.
Let's go.
But Ray, if you don't know his backstory, Ray was actually in the music business for a long time, executive, and then during the pandemic actually started to produce content. So a lot of people know you as a content producer, a content creator, but they might not know that you actually was a music executive.
Well, still have the #1 song in the globe right now.
What song is that?
APT, the Rosie. I always tell adults, and they be like, what? And then I play it for them, like, my kids play that all day. #1 song on the globe. So still in it, but
on the globe.
Checked out.
On the globe.
It's not, it's in the, you know, like the Billboard 200 global charts, it's on that chart, not the Billboard Hot 100.
No, all right.
Yeah, it's
in the world. So like in the world.
It's the biggest K-pop song of all time.
Oh, wow.
Damn.
Nice. Seriously?
Yeah, and we got the biggest K-pop song of all time, and we got the biggest male K-pop song. So we got the biggest female and male.
So still an exec.
I get busy, but I like what you guys do. That's why I'm here.
Thank you for allowing us.
I'd rather be here, John.
Thank you for allowing us to do this.
Obi Omile.
What's up?
By way of the DMV.
Yep. Also born in Atlanta, so Grady baby.
Nah, man. Come on. He said he was a Niger boy. I thought it was like a whole Niger boy thing going in. Shout out to Lagos.
Shout out to Lagos. Y'all been, yeah.
So co-founder of theCut.
Co-founder of theCut, yep.
That's a barber scheduling app.
The #1 app to find a barber anywhere around the country. We got about 8 million users. If you need a barber here in DC or here, DC, Atlanta, anywhere, we got you.
Okay. Legendary, bro. It changed the game.
Honestly.
Can't front. It changed the game.
This summer, we're going to hit 100 million appointments booked, which is crazy.
Congratulations.
So, appreciate it.
Congratulations.
Oh, you got to clap for that.
Shout out to the studio, the studio audience.
And then the last one needs no introduction. Math Hoffa, a legend in the game. Why start laughing?
We already started.
We already started. It's like we already started. Math Hoffa. Shout out to Math.
Math Hoffa,
The best judge in this whole off the top freestyle competition.
To be determined.
A legend in 2 games.
It's a fact.
When we
really crazy.
He is though.
Nah, he definitely is.
When we talk about battle rap, one of the pioneers of the battle rap culture, when we talk about Smack and that whole era that was like in the 2000s, that, you know, he's definitely a major figure in that. And then from the podcast space, content creation, obviously, you know, people I'm sure have seen clips and interviews and everything that he's been doing over the last couple of years with that. So, all right, gentlemen, thank you.
We ain't say where Matt from though.
Oh, Brooklyn.
Hello, where y'all from?
We're born in the Bronx, raised in Greenburgh, New York. So we Westchester County.
That mean y'all came from 2-parent household. That's all I need to know.
We got a lot to talk about. So, first of all, how did you 3 come together, and talk about why you came together?
I mean, we all here because we love rap. At theCut, we were trying to figure out we want to do something cool this year. And so my man Eddie the Mogul, he's always introduced and talked about that we should work with Ray on something, just something in the music space. And like when you think about barbershops and music culture, I mean, they go hand to hand, have been for decades. And so I hit Ray, we talked about putting on a competition, they hit Math, we got together and we started talking about let's put on a 3-city tour. We started in New York, then we'll go to the DMV, then we'll go to Atlanta, allow MCs to come and spit their most fire freestyles. All you gotta do is shout out one of us or theCut on, in your freestyle, in your verse. And then, we gonna allow people to vote and choose, and we gonna crown a champ.
So it was done for promo for theCut. The original idea.
To build brand awareness.
I was gonna say awareness. It was the fact that, and you wouldn't believe how many places we went where somebody was like, this app, oh, you own this? It's black owned? He's like, yeah, that's me. And it was like, I just used it this morning. So it was more like just shining a light on what, usually they say black owned company support. No, the company's already successful and it's black owned. So that's why you should.
And it was done in barbershops?
Yeah, we picked a barbershop in every city.
Yep. And we set up and we let the people go at it.
So talk about each one of your roles. Obviously, you got the infrastructure inside of a barbershop. You got the background in the music industry.
And then Math, and I knew we needed an MC.
You have
You got more than
spot talent.
You got and Math got an expert opinion.
Absolutely. On rap especially.
So talk about how this dynamic is working in terms of the show.
Well, as Rashad said, we was laughing off camera because it's just funny. It's like, because rap is a subjective thing. Like when we spoke about it, it's like we can objectively say who's great or who's not, but it's really about kind of like what you're looking for. So Math was like, the bars mattered to him. And to me, the story mattered. Like to me, I wanted to feel like I knew you. I wanted to feel like, I wanted to want to give you the check. Like, damn, you going through that much here. And, you know, Math was looking for like the bars,
not just the bars.
No, that's what you was going for.
Not just the bars. A couple of times I told people like make us feel something.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Definitely did.
But what I mean by that is like, it's like another language to me. That's what I mean. It's like another language to me. It's like, you got to sit me down and take out a board, chalkboard, write it down, every word. Because for me, it's just complicated. So I look for like, how can I follow you? And Obi just wanted you to, you know, say something dope.
No, I mean, that's though. Like, I really just wanted creativity in my verse. Like, I wanted to hear, because part of it was that you had to use the cut in a creative way. So I wanted to hear either creativity in that or just like how you talked about barbershops or barber and culture in the verse. So yeah, I think that's why all three of us had different opinions as judges. And I mean, I feel like we got some really good.
It was fun, man.
Like,
And then how much does the winner get?
10 bands.
$10,000.
Yes, sir.
And they got to promote it on their social?
Yep. Currently, right now, our championship contestants are actively promoting it. So we got our winner from DC, we got our winner from New York and Atlanta, and you know, may the best MC.
And by the way, the best part about it is 2 of the 3 winners are women. Women came through.
And you guys funded this?
Yes, sir.
And is this something that you think eventually like you can take and have sponsors behind it?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we've already been talking to certain brands who want to get involved. Like we started here on the East Coast, and I think next we can go down to Texas, to the Midwest, West Coast,
Cali.
Like, yeah. I mean, there's so many opportunities to like really give rappers an opportunity to like showcase their skill. And like for us, it's like, how do we empower this industry just like we do for barbers? Like give them an opportunity to really like, you know, show their stuff.
How many contestants applied to be a part of this or submitted their freestyle? And you know, when
like 100 each month.
Probably had like total like 400, 500 people sign up to participate.
And as you're listening to it, right?
I'm trying not to look at you.
You know, as you're listening to it, you want to be kind,
for sure,
and you want to be encouraging,
for sure.
But you know, some people just really ain't got it,
for sure.
You know, like how did y'all go about that? Math, I want to start with you because this is your battleground right here. When you hear somebody that really ain't doing this,
right?
How are you giving that feedback?
I mean, there's a couple people I just look at them and I'll be like, yo, you feel like you did your thing?
He would.
That was your part of it.
You know
how'd you feel like you did? Like,
you know? And then a lot of them was honest. They'd be like, nah, you know,
I was sick.
Cool.
I had a bad day.
He was like, yo, like if you had to freestyle, like if you really came with something like written, like what would that sound like?
Yeah, some people were so bad that we were like, nah. Give us your, because you know, when you hear off the top, you naturally think freestyle. It's really just off the top of your head. It could be written or whatever. So,
but nobody freestyles though. Let's just be honest about that.
No. There were a lot of people.
I ain't gonna lie.
There were a lot of people who walked in and freestyle. And there were some people who did it and they were excellent at it.
Yeah,
like Sluggo.
Like Sluggo killed it.
Crazy.
But Cashflow walked in and he just like.
So is it supposed to be designed for? Because the term freestyle, let's have this conversation.
I love it. Gotta go. Let's go.
When the term freestyle started in hip hop, it was freestyle, right? Of like, yo, Troy got orange jacket, da da da. You got can't like whatever I'm seeing, I'm just rapping.
Right.
That morphed into having written rhymes prepared and spitting a verse that you've already practiced several different times.
Mixtapes changed that.
Okay.
When you picked up a mixtape,
Clue,
and Clue, the Locks freestyle,
right?
Yeah,
you know they not freestyling,
right?
Yeah,
they just going over somebody else's beat, so they would call it a freestyle,
right?
And that's when that freestyle term started to get fuzzy. Like,
it was almost like putting on a new beat, original beat,
right?
Verse.
It was just rapping over not your song.
That's
somebody else's.
It's like different. When I heard KRS freestyle,
yes,
I know like. There's no way he wrote that. That just happened just now.
Yeah.
Right. So for your guys' competition,
yep.
Are you valuing the original format of freestyle off the top of your head, or is it freestyle? It's like I got a verse and I'm just rapping.
From me looking at it, that's what I was looking at. Like, and to Matt's point, there were some who come in there and they would just call on things that we had on in the fit, or things that go on in the shop, and so that was the creativity that gave me extra points. And obviously, some people came in with like fully written, but those who really, like, you could tell were freestyling off the top, they definitely got bonus points.
Yeah, and for me, it was about preparation. Like, anybody can rap, but like when the lights is on and it's like camera and it's go and you gotta be perfect for 90 seconds, to me, that's what I was judging off. Like, who came prepared? Like, who could just do it in one, like people speak one take Jay. Like, that's almost like a compliment. Like, man, he did that in one verse, one take.
Dunk,
first dunk. Do the first dunk. So for me, I was looking for preparation and just who, like I said, I want to know you. Like, when we came up with this, I was like, man, like, times are hard. It would be dope to just give somebody $10,000, because it's not like it's not like we're talking to 18-year-olds. It's not like you gotta be 16. I mean, we had some 50-year-olds come in there and kill it. Like, just straight New York dudes that you knew was nice back in the day that was looking for it. And you laughing because that's why you smiling. He should have went up.
No, I'm laughing because, like, I was giving points for like things I shouldn't be giving points for. Like, one of the dudes whipped out a knife, and I was like, "Oh, you got that past security.
You got a prop.
Extra points."
And we in the room like, yo, somebody, I thought we need security to check these next.
To me, it was creative. Like,
who is security? Talk about the point system. So,
Knife play.
Your judges, like, you brought up the dunk contest. I know the dunk contest is 50 is the best score. How are y'all judging? What's the score criteria?
10. And the part that I didn't like was we didn't let each other have each other's score. It wasn't like you could have your score over there and you could have your score. It was like, what's your score?
Bruh.
What you giving them? It was involvement. It was
At
like
some point I started looking.
I was policing it.
Math was policing us. Like, you would have thought that he was the rap police there. Like, yo, I'm here to make sure that y'all don't mess this up. It's like, bro, we just having fun with rap. Nah, it's not fun.
It's not fun.
It's a serious thing. So
no, because a lot of guys came in there and they put their heart on the line. You know what I'm saying?
But to me, I also, just on a deeper level, I also look at, like, when people say they want to do music, I'm like, it's so easy to break into music if you don't look at it through the eyes of making a song traditionally. Like, like, I like to play with people. I'm like, if I say call JG Wentworth, everybody can say 877 cash now. Like, we all heard it before, but we never played it in our car. It's not like we look for it. So it's like repetition. So, like, sometimes it's about being repetitious, putting your music out there and creating your stuff. Because a lot of these guys are nice, but now they're putting their music out. Like Alex, my assistant. I'm sorry. So my assistant raps, right? And he's been with us for 6 months. But I didn't realize he rapped until he did the contest. And now every time I open my IG, it's a new Alex freestyle. Like, it's like,
that's what's up.
Now he's out there now. So for me, it's like, also, like, sometimes it's
Is
not
he
about,
nice though?
Yes, he definitely talented. Yes, he is talented. He's talented.
Okay, so we got to remember, I come from a different world. So I also need to feel like I'm looking at a rapper.
Okay, and for 6 months, you was like
he looked like he looked like he looked like Return of the Mac. Does he not like he was singing Return of the Mac?
That's his favorite song.
He got orange hair with designs in the side.
A brown or a black leather jacket.
Well, nowadays, I mean,
he looks like Blade. Like, he got
He looks like Blade.
He looks like Blade.
Yo, Ray, stop. Don't stop, man.
I mean, that vampire thing is in though, right?
That's fire, man. Like, dog, I think you're taking it wrong. Like, Pitbull looks like Scarface. It just works, bro. He looks like Blade. Well, I said, I'm trying. Listen, guys.
What's Snipes Blade?
I want to get invited back here. Let Rashad, I want to get invited back. I'm not gonna say nothing crazy. As soon as Matt responds, I'm just gonna be quiet because I just don't get
that's messed up, bro.
So let's do this because I want to come back to this, but I also want to get individual conversations going because you each have unique journeys.
Yeah.
So Obi, let's start with you because you're probably the person that they might not be familiar with. Okay,
that's a fact.
Let's talk about starting this app. Okay. And actually raising money for the app and then making the app profitable. Like, that's a
journey in itself.
Journey within itself.
Absolutely. I mean, I think so. I go to the beginning. The beginning was I had moved to North Carolina, started a new job down there, and I'm sure all of us know. You go to our barbershop about every week or two. I was down in North Carolina for about 2 months while getting a haircut. So
without getting a haircut?
Without a haircut.
By choice.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't about just like
you didn't trust
nobody cut your hair.
And that was the issue with Like that was the first time I realized, there could be an opportunity here. And this was back in 2015. And so right around then is where I said, you'd seen Uber, you've seen Lyft and Handy and all these different apps starting to be born. And that's when I said, okay, there might be an opportunity to do something like this in barbershops. So fast forward like a year later, I ended up moving back home to DC area, and I'm talking to one of my friends, and we're trying to figure out what we want to do next. I build this app, like the little prototype. I show some friends, they get excited. We show our barber, they get really excited, and we've been off to the races ever since.
And it's a subscription?
Yes, sir. For the barbers, they pay a monthly fee.
How much does the barbers pay?
$25 a month.
$25 a month.
The users have to pay money?
Whenever you're booking your haircut, that's when you pay like a processing fee on transactions.
Yeah.
And it's to locate barbers.
So it's all things.
It's to schedule an appointment also?
Like if you're traveling for work, you can find a barber. If you have a barber, you can use it just to book them, so you don't have to walk in the shop and spend 4 hours waiting. Right? You can use your card, so you don't gotta like run to the ATM get cash. Like we're trying to build a whole ecosystem for barbers and barbershops.
I have the app, bro. It's crazy. I've been using it for probably about 5 years. When you walked in, I was like, oh shit, I have it.
Yeah.
You got 200,000 barbers.
Yeah.
That's a lot, especially for a subscription model. Not that we're counting, but it says on your lease.
We got different tiers.
Different tiers. I mean, even the barber shops, right? They have barbers inside of it. So it's interesting. Is this just domestic? Is this something that's regional, or are we going global with this then?
I mean, the plan is to go global, man.
Yeah.
I mean, right now we are focused domestically, and we have barbers in like Canada. I mean, we do have barbers on like different military bases abroad too. So, but the plan is to go global.
You had to raise money?
We have raised money up.
How'd that process go?
It was definitely a process, but I think it's multi-staged, right? When we first got out the game, me and my boy had money saved up. That got us through like the first year, and then after that, we went to our colleges, so our alma maters. They have if you went to most universities will have like an angel group. So you go to pitch to the angel group, and then they'll invest. So we did that.
What school did you go to?
I went to James Madison in Virginia. Shout out to the Dukes. And so after that, one of the things that we did that was really dope was an equity crowdfunding. I'm sure you guys are familiar, And so the thing that was dope about that is it allowed barbers to invest in the company. And so out the gate, we had 400 or 500 barbers who invested, and they were so bought in the brand, they galvanized on our behalf. They're telling everybody to know, because not only are they using an app, they're going to help them exactly. So that was a big part of our story. And then after that, we did a accelerator, we did Techstars, and then that led to us finally raising our first bit of venture capital. And that was in 2021.
And the company's in the black now. It's just very
we just hit profitability earlier this year, so that was exciting.
I just got to give them that.
Congrats.
Appreciate it.
What makes it dope is that the barbershop, it doesn't matter what you do in life, right? Whether you're an accountant, whether you're a teacher, or you freestyle, you're going to go to the barbershop at some point, which is why I think it's dope that y'all brought all this together. Obviously, as music exec. Math, I mean, your show was in the barbershop, man. Talk about the importance of the barbershop in the community and why this all makes sense.
Well, I think that as far as hip hop goes, a lot of the buzz for an artist probably starts in the barbershop. I would go into a barbershop, somebody be playing a mixtape. You know what I mean? Yo, who's that? Oh, such and such, it was just new clue tape. Oh, wow, you think you better than... So a lot of these hip hop conversations would happen in the barbershop. So it only made sense that we would have this competition in the barbershop.
Barbershops.
So Math, let's ask the question.
Yeah.
What happened? So the intro straight.
What are you referring to?
No. All right. So for people who are not familiar, Math, it was something that just took off like wildfire. At least to me, I'm not sure how long it was going on, but my expert opinion, that show started, and then before I know it, it's
everywhere,
viral, 21 Savage. I'm not sure what exact moment.
It was Method Man and Fat Joe for me. That's when it was it was everywhere.
Which time Meth came on 3 times?
Well, the first time.
No, it was great. We had a conversation.
The first time, I don't think you saw it.
But
that was the 10th episode.
Oh, hell no.
We couldn't figure. We was sitting there yo, how's he doing this? And it was because you were showing clips, but the episode didn't drop. And I'm like, yo, is he just mass recording and just putting out? We were studying it yo, this is
and it was 2 episodes per week, switched up.
Drop clips.
Yeah. 5-minute, 10-minute clips. So, but then there's a lot of things that started to happen. A lot of co-hosts started to change, and then abruptly the show transformed, and it's kind of changed formats, right?
Right.
You're no longer in the barbershop.
Well, the last episode I shot was not in the barbershop.
Okay.
Do I want to give up the barbershop? No. I'm still in the process of trying to sort it out with the landlord and the subleaser and all that stuff. Okay. So what happened?
I never talk. I want to know. We never had this conversation. I'm curious.
People on the Ray turned his head like,
let me start by saying,
I thought he crossed his leg.
I did.
Let me start by saying life comes at you fast. True.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? The success of the show, I wouldn't say it was overnight because I started a little bit before 2020. COVID kind of shut it down. So I was going live every single night, 10 o'clock, read between the lines, just building up that fan base. So when I restarted, it was like that fan base carried over and the shop was going again. And, you know, everybody was hyped to be outside. So I had a million people pulling up. Like everybody I knew from Brooklyn, Queens, wherever, all the old school heads. I was connecting the dots to certain stories. And I was like, okay, we're going to do Nas and Tupac. So I need G Wiz over here. I need Tragedy Gaddafi. I need all the Queens niggas to pull up and tell us what happened. Okay, now I'm going to do all the Jay-Z stories. So I'm going to get this person to come over. I'm going to get this person to, and I would just start putting it together like that. And it worked and it took off. And after a while, I started bringing on more co-hosts. And
what happened with that? We really want to know. I'm curious. What happened with that?
With the co-host situation,
that was Ray as my voice.
I want to know for real.
Intrusive thoughts.
I'm a man of my word. And if you give me your word, I expect that you're going to stand on it. And there were a couple of situations with the co-hosts where they didn't want to stand on their word. And it bothered me because it's like, yo, we got all the success. Why are you guys doing things now? Like, why are you messing up the whole blueprint of the situation? Like, one of the things that I don't even want to.
No, we waiting.
Get into. Okay, all right. So I had a deal with S1 Heineken. They signed contracts, and the show started to take off. Pocket watching. People are like, okay, we signed these contracts to get paid this, but now the show is doing this. So I'm like, just hold on. I'm talking with the big guy, the guy that's in court right now.
Okay.
And I'm trying to make the situation work.
The guy that's in court right now.
Yeah, the guy that's in court right now. You know what I mean? You know what? Shout out to him. And, I hope everybody involved in that situation, like, they find their way through it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But while that's going on, one of the things that I asked them not to do, they went back and they did. There was a lot of friction in between that. It was a whole bunch of stuff. A lot of personalities and egos clashing. And for me, I just try to keep the drama away because I know in the shop we're selling friendship. That's really what's being sold.
Right.
Friendship. And if there's turmoil, if there's fakeness, whatever, it's not going to work. It's going to pick up on camera. And, I let a couple people go. And then they turned into my biggest haters. And, it is what it is. And the cycle just continued. Every time there was a fallout, I didn't have the contract that says, yo, you can't say nothing after you leave here. So, it went the way they did.
In retrospect, because being that it happened a few times, do you think it was you picking the wrong people, or maybe you were a little bit too hard as a leader? Like, just retrospectively looking back on the situation.
I think a little bit of both. Because it's hard to tell. It's hard to tell somebody who's done so much on their own. Like, even as a kid, like, I was the type of person that if nobody had my back, I'm still going to walk down that block and say, yo, you, forget your friends, we fighting. I've done so many things in my life where no one had my back that it's like, it's hard for me to say, you know what, I'm going to try to keep this together. I'm always going to think, no, I'm going to just keep moving. So maybe it was me being tough as a leader, partially, and expecting things out of people where I could have forgiven certain things.
Yeah, so I'm thinking about it in retrospect, but looking forward, right? Number one, where does the show stand going forward? And knowing what you know now, what's the biggest lesson that you've learned going forward to say, all right, I know we made a mistake there, there's some accountability. Going forward, this is what I'm doing.
No compete cause.
Non-compete.
You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying?
Get the waivers out.
And
it's important.
it's very important.
Honestly,
Very, very
paperwork
important.
is important. Overlooked.
But then also, what's something people need to know this too, because this is important for content creators to understand. There's a thing when the YouTube algorithm starts to change. And everybody felt that from a monetary standpoint, views standpoint, all of that. So it's like, it's difficult to run a business when you're pretty much, okay, banking, I'm hitting this number every single month. And then things change. It's out of your control. You don't really necessarily know how to go about that, right? That's something that is not talked about enough. But that happened. That affected everybody across the board.
But that's privy to that then.
But if you're the person that's running everything, you're the person that's like, okay, I'm putting the guests together, you're controlling the flow of the conversation, kind of send people like, we want to go here, we want to go here, we want to go here. All right. Then you're handling the uploads. You know everything. Like no one in that shop could tell me about the business of it because I knew every aspect of it and I controlled every aspect of it. So the things that I know are like, I know we did good this month, but come January, the ad rate is going to drop and it's going to be dead until May. So let's hold off on whatever we got to do at this time or whatever. And people didn't understand that.
Yeah,
they just felt like, oh well, he got it.
I hate when people say,
we did 1 million views.
But that comes to education. If you're not educated, then you think, oh, no, well, now he's stealing money. Or it's like, nah, I'm trying to.
Yeah, we had this great month in November when this episode dropped. Was that an issue for the show? Like in terms of getting AdSense, if you're on YouTube because of the content, maybe because of profanity, did you have issues with that?
I mean, of course, with YouTube, their policies change like every weeks, bro.
Right.
And it's like episodes that was hot and it was still moving, all of a sudden it's demonetized because there's a new policy. And it's a lot of going back and checking and, requesting a review and trying to take things out of the footage. It's a lot. It's a lot. And like I said, nobody else understood that but me.
Yeah.
So when it came to like, people just seeing like, oh yeah, I think the show is doing this. I think they're doing that. A lot of guesstimations, and I just don't like that type of shit. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't work.
But they also don't talk about how hard it is when you're dealing with how many people was on it? It was like 7 of y'all.
Yeah.
5.
Okay, so 5 including you?
Personalities.
So
including me.
So you're talking about 5 people, all with different personalities. All we as black men have been raised to want to be the man. It's like they don't teach us to be a part of it. So it's like I could be doing it, or it's his, and nobody understands. Like it's hard for you guys to be here and still be rocking. Y'all deserve credit for that because it is almost impossible to build with most people because of their expectations of what, like just because you outside and people celebrating y'all don't mean we winning. I mean, that might be God sending us a sign saying we're on the right path, but winning is when we reach a certain goal. And that's probably, that's something to be spoken about because I'm tired of it happening. Everybody breaking up.
It takes discipline, man. It takes discipline and you got to respect and trust each other. But if you come from a cutthroat business where you expect people to be cutthroat, it's like those shadows are going to follow you.
Yep, you're looking for it.
I mean,
yeah, are you seeing those similarities, Ray? I'm gonna come to you because you come from the music industry. Obviously, you're in the content creation space now. It is a filthy game, man.
You talking about the content creation?
Yeah.
Oh, I lost everybody.
Talk about it, man.
No, I lost everybody. I'm actually feeling bad for him because I'm like, at least you got to 1 million. Like I would lost everybody when I didn't even wasn't monetized yet. My people was leaving because like they thought people don't understand. I'm a successful music exec, so I make 7 figures from music. I'm investing that. So because I want to do a podcast, I paid everybody in the room, including my co-hosts. And then so it's like
before you started making money.
What? I paid day one because I already know that they're gonna come in my office. They see how my office is. They like, oh, he got it. So you know what?
Right.
How much you want? I'm gonna pay you for the month. And I paid everybody. And then and then it started becoming their dream now. So now they're like, I got stuff to do. I got to go shoot another person's podcast. Hold on, you wasn't even shooting pod. I was like, I created this. Now all of a sudden it's like,
chill out.
dog, my co-host literally left in the middle of an interview.
Look right there, non-compete clause.
Non-compete clause. Non-compete clause.
Listen, the crazy part is that, but this is how it works though.
But that's
we don't think about that in podcasts.
That's how it always
And
works.
as soon as you said it, I'm like, yo, if I had my phone, I would have texted Chassis and Mike like non-compete clause, because it's something to think about. Because what people don't understand is I'm putting you, and we just said, it's like I'm putting you on my album. I can't take that album out of stores no more. It's like it's evergreen. Once I upload it, and if it got millions of views, I don't want to take it down because I don't mess with you no more. So it's hard to build in any space. Y'all want to be honest? You know what's hard? It's hard to build with broke people, and it's hard to build with broke-minded people. Broke-minded people. No, because even if you got the right mentality, you gonna get to the money.
Right.
Broke-minded people is hard to build with because they don't understand. It's like when people say, them Jordans cost $20 to make. Why would you pay $150? Nobody factors in that. Somebody has to fly it. They have to ship it to the store. Somebody has to work at Foot. Like all these people get paid to get the shoe to us, unless you want to go to the factory yourself and buy all the pants for $20. Like, it's
the
a
thing
cost
about
of
it too
business.
is that very few people want to be an underboss.
Tell her, Rashad. Nobody does.
Very few people want to be an underboss. Like when they get the underboss position, they want to become the boss.
Yes.
Right? Because they see the line. Even if it's not that's not the reality, it's what they think is reality. So they're like,
see one part of it.
They're like, I want to do this for myself. I want to experience this. I want to go to this party and get treated like this myself.
But they don't realize like you're undercutting what we're all working toward.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
It's a selfish mindset.
Yeah.
right.
Absolutely.
Yeah, if we have an interview show and you go create an interview show, what's happening here? You know what I mean? Like I used to sell drugs. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So I'm looking at it like,
It's my block now.
what's happening here? You taking the work where?
Yeah.
What? Nah, bro, I ain't getting piece of. What you doing? You cut me? Nah, you cut my legs.
Yeah.
It happens every time.
It's ego, it's discipline. My man Derek Falcon said something important. He's like, sometimes being number two is being number one.
Yeah.
Because you put your ego aside to let somebody else go and shine and be the face of things, right? The show got your name on it. That don't mean I'm not important to the show. I'm part of it, right? But sometimes we get blinded by the success of it, and it's like, nah, I should have my own shit.
I ain't gonna lie, my co-host quit to go work for free.
It's nuts.
And ain't even on camera no more. She's literally behind the scenes. Like, it's like, if you have magic, L.A. Reid would teach me that. He said everybody is just looking for their magic combination.
Yes.
Once you find the magic, once you find it, keep the world out. Don't let nobody touch it, because once they touch it, it's over.
Well, let me ask you guys, all three of you, because you'll have different perspectives. You from a music standpoint, you from a startup standpoint, you from coming in the game on the podcast and content creation standpoint. But I had a conversation with Charlamagne, and he said he felt that people were not fully educated on like podcast industry, which was leading them to have unrealistic expectations and was leading them to turn down good deals in hindsight, but they was looking at it from a standpoint of it wasn't a good deal.
You know what? There's an element that you got to add to that. You got to add to you have to add the other deals that you hear floating around.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You think.
That you think.
A lot of them are upsells. A lot of them are.
And they got $300 million.
I really got 20, but I'm gonna tell you, I got 170.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's the headlines, like podcasting business expected to generate $8 billion.
But then you start comparing yourself to things that we never really got the full details of Cam and Mace's situation.
Yes.
Right.
We never really got the full, no disrespect, I'm just saying, we never got the full details of $1 million worth of game.
Right.
We never got the full details of Joe.
Even Joe's,
Nobody, like, in the NBA, it's transparent.
Yep.
We know how much Steph Curry signed for, so now it creates comps, right?
Yep.
So now if you're a similar player with a similar market value, you can say, okay, now this is what I'm worth
Right.
because X, Y, and Z player got that.
Then I do
and
X, Y, and Z.
in this industry, it's all, and nobody's, saying, so it's like,
And nobody's really
So why-
sharing
why-
it. No, I'm gonna say this. Nobody's really sharing the information. I'm not gonna say no names.
And that's a problem.
But there's a couple people I called with questions.
And
when I got off the phone, I had more questions than I started with.
that's
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was like, damn.
Because they didn't know?
they didn't
Or they
want to
wanna
tell.
share.
They knew.
Either they didn't know,
or they didn't want to tell,
or someone else is really running their business.
That's what I'm telling you. That's what I'm going.
Can't tell.
That's really what it is. They want to
mean?
tell you, but they ain't stopped to learn it.
I think it's two things.
Yeah.
They don't know, because some people are just not fully educated and they don't know, or they may know and they don't want to tell you.
Period. And to me, the weird part is, to me, we should all be sharing info about podcasting. And to me, if you're coming into podcasting worrying about the cameras and the views, you don't understand the concept in my mind. Like, I swear, I've said this on everywhere I go. I'm like, I look at you two guys. You two guys, like, you guys have the biggest festival in the world. Yeah. 20,000 black people, like, those are people that probably watched a few shows, but they know who y'all are. It's like to me, that's the problem I have with podcasting. It's like, this is an opportunity to create a brand to build something on.
Right.
You're so worried about, man, how many views we got? Well, if you're gonna ask how many views we got, please ask how much all these wires and cameras and people cost.
Exactly.
Well, all right, you bring up a good point, because that's the thing that a lot of people are not taking advantage of, and that causes problems. When you're only relying on views to get money, then that's problematic.
Limit your perspective.
Right? You got to have products to sell. You got to have different ancillary things where this should just be a commercial.
Yeah.
24/7.
And then everything that, if you can get money from YouTube, that's a blessing.
Yeah. But this shouldn't be your only stream.
But that's what we learned from hip hop. Like, I'm in the music business. I promise you, these guys do not get royalties. They don't get royalties. They just get advances. And once you go, you get your money how you get it. The people that was here ain't here no more. Like,
you get show money, and
that's how they get it. So what I'm saying is that most artists don't make money from recorded music.
Right.
Like, they make money from appearances, show money, more like features, everything.
Even the billionaires in our culture got rich off of ancillary items.
Like Jay is like,
Jay got
party,
rich off
give me the liquor.
off of liquor. Diddy became a billionaire because of liquor. Kanye became a billionaire off of merchandise.
I mean, the main thing is you want to use something to build your brand. And as long as you build your brand and you build trust, like through content or through like rap or whatever, that gives you that credibility, then you can go and sell anything. Right. The point. That's how Jay-Z, that's how Managers in Court, that's how Kevin Hart, that's how everybody's building their brand today.
But look at Academics. Academics is huge. But he started with, he was his own man, but Complex really put him on the map. Joe had got the Complex.
And that's why so sometimes the deal is more than just money. It helps elevate your platform.
Yep.
So now you still keep your platform even when you're not with that said company.
Period.
Right.
So, all right. So for all of you three, do you think that not having the right information is hurting us when we're negotiating deals?
Absolutely.
Oh, definitely.
That's by design, though.
But I got to say, okay, all right, as far as the entertainment field, a lot of the people who succeed in it didn't come from business school.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? Like, me personally, aside from hustling, I might have had a couple jobs here and there. Battle rap, that was like hustling. That's not money I had to report to the government. I was getting cash. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is.
Yeah.
So once I got to this level with the podcast where it was hundreds of thousands, like, coming through, it was like I didn't know what to do. You know what I mean? And some of us come from a family where there is nobody else you can ask.
Most of us.
I mean, I'm thinking even to startups, like when it comes to fundraising and trying to raise money, like to grow your business, like there's so much information you don't know when it comes to like other companies and how they did their deals. Like, what were the metrics that they got valued on? What were the different, like, how did this VC like analyze their business? And like, if you have a lot of friends who are other founders, they can give you the inside scoop on like how this investor works, or like the metrics and kind of, you know, basically like how to run your deal process, right? But if you don't know, then you go in there blind, and then the VC has all the...
You got to be educated to ask a question.
Exactly.
I asked ChatGPT a question for something similar because I'm like, I wanted to just confirm, and they gave me a detailed answer. But like you said, if you don't even have enough education to ask a question,
what to ask,
what are you going to ask?
There's so many things right now that I'm so thankful that I have friends who like are further along than I do, because when we go and run our process now, to your point, shout out to Chat Lawyer GPT, like there's so much information I've been able to like ascertain to go out and like hit them with questions on, because you know, you gotta get the best deal for everyone involved.
But I can tell you what it is. I'm gonna be honest. I just think it's us. They don't want us to know. Let me tell you why I say that. Ryan Coogler.
Yep.
Ryan Coogler, it's the biggest. How many directors have deals that we don't know they deals? And everybody's like, here's Ryan Coogler deal.
Immediately the world
knew. But then he goes and says, I'm not the first person to get this deal.
Right.
I'm the first black person to get this deal. And what happens when we see one get, all of us feel like we're going to ask for it. And that's what the scary part is. So it's like, for example, I contributed to when I was in music and I was working at my last job. It was like the gold rush. I mean, I can't even get to know you to know if I want to work with you because you so hot that everybody chasing you that I'm just trying to figure out how much money you want.
And that happens to Starbucks.
So it's like you gotta look at it. We gave NLE Chopper $8 million, right? It's like, how the hell I'm gonna tell him what to do now? You know what I'm saying? Like everything he did got him the biggest deal in history. How do I go tell him now what to do, right? So to me, I think it's how they treat us. And what I would say is that we all should be picking up the phone saying, here's what's in my deal. And we just don't trust each other. But that's what we should be doing quietly. Yo, here's my deal. I did an interview where I told people you should get a buy-sell. I didn't know what that was. But Polo, my boy Polo the Don did a deal with that I did at Sony, and he renegotiated, and they gave him a buy-sell. And the only reason he knew that is because his lawyer was Peter Paterno, who represented some of U2, all these other big people that was like, here's what you need in your deal. So now we know to ask for it. One last thing, I remember when I was doing Chopper deal, and I'm going to say it, nobody knows it was me. We was doing his deal, and Chopper's lawyer is a black guy. So when he's sending the deal, he's like, he wants $8 million, and then he had his legal fees in there. And lawyers get paid 5% of the deal. So he was owed $400,000. So when he puts in his deal, he puts in a number way less than 400. So think about it. I could have just been like, I'm saving the company money. Nah, yo. I called the lawyer, yo, why did you only ask for the number you asked for? He said, oh man, you think they'll give me 5%? I said, they give it to Joe Katz. Rest in peace, Joe Katz. I was like, they give it to Joe Katz, put it in the deal. So he puts it in the back in the deal, sends the deal over, and then head of legal at the company is like, man, somebody might have hipped him because now the only thing different is the lawyer want his full fee. He was like, by the way, that lawyer is black. He's like, only somebody must have hipped him. Why didn't you hip him?
Right.
And by the way, that's the only reason why we got the deal, because now the lawyer is like, wow, Ray, thank you for looking out for me. So let me tell you what's going on. He wants this. If you give this, this, and this, I think we can get it done. And that's how we got the deal. So it's like, but if I didn't be transparent with my brother, we don't get there. And we need more of that.
I wanted to go there because, like you said, you were able to call Polo, right?
Yep.
Building that circle of trust is tough, right?
I did the deal.
Right.
I wasn't able to. I actually did the deal, and then I was leaving to go to Interscope, and I was trying to take. Polo had an artist named Kane Brown, who was like one of the biggest country artists in the world, and he was going crazy. So I'm trying to bring him to Interscope. So Sony is like, no, you over here with us. So Polo was like, no, I can go because I had proof that I sent them. I submitted it when I was working there. So Polo's like, here go my proof. Ray submitted it. Y'all didn't pass. So they go, well, let's change the deal terms for you to stay here. So I couldn't get mad at that. He gets a buy-sell. Now, if you want it now, so Cash Money has a buy-sell. Todd Moskowitz has a buy-sell. These are things that if the artists are really yours. Like when they send, Jermaine Dupri called me, he got mad at me. When they send you home as a CEO, most like when they send Puff home, they keep his artists. If you get rid of Cash Money, Wayne, Drake, everything with them goes with them. That's why you have a buy-sell in the deal. I remember after I put that little clip, like 30 seconds, everywhere I went for like a month, every black executive. Bro, why you doing that, man? Everybody asks for buy-sells now. I'm like, why don't we want us to know?
Right.
Like, what is the problem? It's almost like it's not for us yet. Let's let them get the most out of it, and then we'll give it to you.
What's a buy-sell, though?
Buy-sell, okay, so here's a buy-sell. So a buy-sell means that at some point in time, when the deal expires or we get to a certain point, we're going to bring an outside company to give us a valuation of what the company is worth. And at that moment, so say if the company's worth $180 million, at that moment, you can go cut Universal a check for $180 million, and now you could take it to Sony like Todd Moskowitz did when he took Lil Durk, Rod Wave. He took them all to Sony. So Sony probably gave him $400 million. He gave Interscope Universal or whatever he owed them, and he got a whole new deal. So it just means you own it. Like most of us don't own nothing in the music business, but if you have a buy-sell, it's yours. They cannot get rid of you, and if they do, they got to pay you. The biggest cash out in history was a guy named Clive Calder, who had a deal with BMG, and he did a buy-sell. He had a buy-sell in his deal, and basically they had to give him $2.7 billion. This is the year that NSYNC, Britney Spears, and what's the other group? The other group, Backstreet Boys, were all the biggest groups in the world. And he went to BMG and was like, nope. And he cashed out. That's what brought BMG down, by the way. Just a fun fact. Buy sell. So that's why they don't like giving it to you, because once you apply it, you got to cut me a check, or I got to cut you a check.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's been in the game forever. But white boys have been doing it forever. It's just we don't know about it. So like that deal Ryan Coogler got, they all got it. Yeah. We just don't know about it.
Tarantino has it.
Yeah, he does. Yeah,
I mean, there's plenty of directors who own the film. Even Spike, to a certain sense, owns his content. But like the fact that you're giving game and not kicking down the ladder is like you become a guy that people can now call. In the VC world, like when you were doing it, who's the person that you're calling? Even Math, it's like, yo, we making 6 figures in the content space. Are you calling other content creators? Are you calling dudes that came up? Because they don't, like, who are you getting the information? Who's the circle of trust as you're doing it?
I mean, for me, it's definitely founders I've met along the way, like founders of companies where we either have like the same investor, so like we're portfolio companies, so like we share an investor, and then other founders I've met just networking like at different events, and like that circle of trust, because like we all trust each other. We're going through the same shit. Like that's how we built this rapport, and through that is how we feel comfortable enough sharing like some of these deal terms. And then like, you know, we do, like we've been talking because like we want to start making a lot more transparency out there. And I even see people on TikTok or like other platforms today, like where they are giving like real inside game from inside of a VC. So they're letting you know as a VC how we look at the business too. So like I think just the internet, cell phones has given a lot more people the ability to share information. And so like if you find the right people to follow, like you can get what you need to know. For
me, it was Wallow. Wallow showed up to my studio like 3 or 4 months into my pod and was like, you gonna blow up. And I'm like, how do I make money? He was like, this. He showed me his deals. He showed me the Amazon offers, the Barstool offers. He was the first person. I just met him, by the way. Like, literally, what's up, man? Nice to meet you. Let me show you some of my deals. This is what you need to look for. We need more of that with each other because they're going to keep, if we're not together, they're going to keep being able to X us out and let who they want in and give them the info as long as they don't tell anybody.
That part.
Yeah.
And then they go after you.
That's crazy. Yeah, I actually ran into Wallow in Vegas. The same thing.
Yeah.
And he was like, yo, I love what y'all doing. Keep killing it. And then he looked at he's like, yo, this is the deal Amazon's offering.
Yep.
We're not taking it.
Yeah. He said, same thing with me.
I was like, okay, bet. He's like, nah, we worth more. I'm like, go get it.
And literally, I call him, like, when I call Wally, he's like, Ray, just keep doing this. You got to keep doing it. So it's like, you have those people, but I think in this space, we understand it more now that it's matured and you kind of know who the giants are. EYL, you know, like Math Hoffa, 1 million. Like I'm trying to get to 100 subs. So you got 1 million already. So you know who the giants are. Yeah. But even me, it's like, I love it because it's like, he's still gonna mess with me. I'm still gonna mess with y'all. Because we understand what it is. It's like we need more of that, more fellowship, more talking to each other, more, hey, yo, this should be in your deal. Don't let them do that. I've done that my whole career because I've always gotten lucky in my deals. Like I always went to my deals like, man, I just want 100,000. Man, and then we get 1 million. Like how do we get that? And it's like, because it was luck. It was like God, and God is like, hey, don't hoard. Don't hoard the information I give you because I could have gave it to somebody else. So that's why I'm big on like just sharing as many. If you want it, it's out there.
Who's in your circle, Math?
Well, I was going to say Math might be a little different though because it's all right.
We picking on Math.
No. I'm just saying that, like I said, I put out a lot of those phone calls.
Yeah,
and it wasn't the same reception.
But do you think for you, okay, you're a different persona than Ray, right? You're a nice guy, you're a good guy, but I'm just saying you might be a little bit more threatening. No, I'm being honest.
What gives you that?
He just said he went to see him go into projects and fight people. I'm like, what are you doing?
But not in that way.
Yeah.
In a way that a lot of the other whoever you would call my competitors, they took deals early.
Contemporaries.
Right. Contemporaries. They took deals early. This thing was and still is independent. Got to 1 million subscribers without a network, without, you know what I'm saying? Corporations behind it.
Organic.
So like, yeah, a lot of times I felt lonely. Like, bro, how do you do? Oh, you don't, I don't know. You got to figure it out. One person literally told me, I don't know. You got to figure it out.
That's crazy.
Wow.
I was
That's
like,
hating. That's hate.
That's crazy.
Oh.
That's crazy.
Say hi to him on Friday.
That's the question. So where you going?
I'm gonna say something. Now, after you said that, now that makes sense. Y'all the same. Both come from the same world. When it's like it's a little different. I gotta
know who that.
I'm gonna ask you.
Should have called
us. See him on Friday. I'm gonna ask.
We would have been happy to share information. Some people are more open door than others.
Yeah,
It's value in opening the doors. It's value in being the first person. It's value in leading. It's value in, and I think our people are just learning that because it hasn't been. Like, we've seen our killers get killed before they get $1 in their pocket. And it's like, nah, it's value in that. Like, people like Jay, you know, these guys are leading, making all this money. It's value in this. It's just, if you're going to look at them like, you supposed to be my brother, give me the information, you're never going to get it.
Well, the thing about it, I think, it's two types of mindsets. It's an abundant mindset and a scarcity mindset.
Talk that.
Scarcity mindset looks at it like, when I climb up the ladder, I'm kicking the ladder down to make sure that nobody else gets up, because now I'm in the penthouse by myself and I could just run around.
Right.
But that's a limited mindset, because how much can you really do by yourself?
Exactly.
Now, the abundance mindset is, I'm gonna get as many people in the penthouse as possible so we can take over the building.
Exactly.
That's what people don't understand. It's like, you're looking at it from a limited mindset, and you might have been hurt before. You might have tried to help somebody and they screwed you over. I get that part of it, but that's never going to be long-term success. You're actually hurting yourself by not having more. Like, if there's 37 people that have $100 million contract, that's only better for the industry as opposed to one person.
Right. It keeps that industry alive. It actually grows that industry.
We were talking about it even just with our barbers, that same type of abundance versus scarcity, because like, there are some barbers out there who don't want to be on a platform like theCut because they don't want their clients to be seen by other barbers, so they're more afraid of losing business, versus realizing being on a platform like theCut opens you up to the million+ people who are on our platform searching for barbers every day. And so just like the difference between like the abundance versus scarcity is huge.
It's probably the biggest problem in our community, the abundance versus scarcity mentality, like why we don't help each other. Like, but I'll say this, most of us that have gotten to a certain table, usually we've been made to think, once we got to that table, you're only here because you're not like them.
But a lot of people, this is another part.
That's what they tell you.
A lot of people, like, especially from the 90s, early 2000s, they've reached a level of success differently than how we've reached success. We've reached success independently through cell phone, directly to the consumer. So our mindset is completely different. They've reached success by a corporate executive putting them in position.
The
network.
Right. So their level of success is, all they know is, a white person picked me up and put me in this position. And
as long as I serve that person.
Right. And the same thing that how they taught them, how they treat them, now they passing that down. And that's their gatekeeper mentality.
That's what's happening in the music industry right now. That's why I quit it, because that's exactly what's happening. It's just, you're not getting picked because you're great. You're getting picked because you're friends with this person, and he wants you in position because he feels like you're going to protect him from them.
But hasn't it always been like that?
It was, but I think once it got bigger and bigger and bigger, the game got bigger, money got bigger, it started becoming like playing keep away, to the point where it's like when they put Elliot Grange in Craig Kalman's seat, you got to understand, Craig Kalman has been at Atlantic longer than Elliot has been alive. In the CEO position, not like Junior and he got the CEO he's been the CEO for the last 20, 30 years, and you put somebody younger than him who doesn't know any of those people. So what you just did, anybody that has those relationships, cut.
It's Lucian's son you're talking about.
But by the way, Elliot is good at his job, but he's just young and he doesn't care. He's from that that generation, like, oh, y'all niggas don't know nothing, and that we know how that winds up playing out, right? So it's just that mentality. So now he basically brings in his guys who are all younger than him, and what happens to all those guys who's been there 20, 30 years? They going home to figure it out. So when you start seeing they sending people home, and it's like, I'm cool on that, man. I go home myself, bro. That's how I've lived my life, just for that reason. Like, I don't play that.
Are there any more stars in music? Right, we have a core, and we keep seeing them win awards and go on tour, but are there new stars? Right, I went to a stadium. We went to the Kendrick joint. It was a stadium tour, and I started thinking to myself, I'm like, how many artists can do that?
And the reason why they can do that is because it's like having a big brother in the building. Like, oh, we're gonna make this. So, the business is, bro, it's dirty, but it's only dirty because behind closed doors, we're treating you like a product, but you're a person, right? So it's like, if this mic don't work, we like, man, give me another mic. But if this mic is human and we throw it away, it's like, how could you do that to that mic? He's been there with you 20 years. And it is like, you know what I mean? So I think that's the problem. So we do have stars. We don't have any superstars. And the reason I don't have any superstars is because we don't have people, the game.
Superstars like what?
Like SZA,
Travis
Kendrick.
Scott.
Travis Scott's a superstar. A superstar to me is when you hit that space where you can't go under where you are. Like Jay-Z called it the white hot space, where it's like, you trying to be hot. I'm trying to hit that white space where I can be this.
Drake's a superstar.
Drake's a superstar.
Travis Scott's a superstar.
Yeah.
Future's a superstar.
Future, is he a superstar?
Future's a superstar.
Yes, Future's a superstar.
He doesn't have the presence.
Yeah, he's
but his music makes him that.
he's a superstar.
No, I think he
Met Gala.
Met Gala. We see
he's a creative director for Lanvin. Like he's a superstar. When you got big European brands,
he has
that wanna
space
leverage
outside
you,
the Louvre.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. I'm thinking in terms of, can he do a stadium?
No, he can't do a stadium.
No, but
neither could Kendrick.
yeah,
But he did.
Without SZA.
without SZA,
But he did.
Without SZA.
without
She did.
SZA, very important.
Yeah, but that's like on the run.
Jay-Z, Beyonce, same concept.
Stadium.
Yeah, but
Same concept.
Jay-Z's always done that though.
Yeah,
He partnered with Eminem.
Partnered-
He partnered
Justin-
with 50 Cent.
Justin Timberlake,
Justin
He partnered with yes, he does that. He's smart.
Mary J. Blige.
Mary J. Blige.
He's smart.
That was arenas.
You build your audience.
The Justin Timberlake one was baseball fields.
That's still stadium.
Stadium.
life is-
Baseball stadium. Baseball and football stadiums. Basketball is arena.
True.
Okay. And hockey.
Yes.
Let's have this conversation, shall we? Because it's Barbershop. You guys have a freestyle battle competition, right? So it's about rap, people that rap. So let's have a few rap conversations. So,
Ray, are you up for that?
trying to ease into it. So,
I love this.
all right.
I'm watching y'all scores.
The first one, shout out to Punch, my guy.
Punch.
So you guys had an interesting take as far as New York rappers. And it was interesting. I actually called both of you gentlemen.
You did.
And you have Jay at number one, okay. But then you had Fabulous and Jadakiss.
No, he had Jadakiss is number 2 and Fabulous is number
number
3.
three.
And I agreed.
And then you
You
had
agreed.
And then
I'm glad you said that.
and then the four was a debate. I think it might have been Nicki Minaj.
50 Cent, yeah.
Nicki Minaj. And then you had Nas at the tail end of the situation.
No, he did.
You didn't even have Nas at all. So
Oh yeah, this is a Nas thing going on over here.
By the way, can I be real?
You
This
did the
is
same thing when
this
I went
the
on your
perfect
show.
place to address it because
Please.
I know how you feel about it. So it's like,
listen,
let's
this
go.
This is
This is it.
This is the guy that picks Nelly over Nas.
No.
Nelly over
He did.
I did not put. I
on the record.
said,
He did that on the record.
no, I said,
Wow.
I said Nelly is a better songwriter.
That's crazy. How is he a
and
better songwriter?
Like Hitmaker.
The dude made a song.
Like a hit maker. Okay.
So
Okay, I can see.
Oh, because he has number one singles.
He sold 10 million albums first time out.
Yeah.
So I had to call. I personally called both of these gentlemen because,
By the way, it was like 12 o'clock in the morning. He's not playing.
and and Jadakiss, actually know Jadakiss personally.
Yep.
And Jadakiss, he's from the same area, hometown hero. He's a legend. And Fabulous is one of the dopest rappers of all time. Like bar for bar, punchlines. Like he's super dope. But we got to stop this disrespect of Nas.
Please.
Yeah, please.
Like we
Please.
have to stop the disrespect of Nas.
I want to say this. I told this to Rashad. I'm going to say this on record. Okay, so this is how I look at it. So here's why I do this, first of all. So I was born in the Bronx. I left New York right when I turned 12. So you got to understand, I left New York, and it's like Eric B. Rakim, like I'm at the Apollo, Tough and Leather, Eric. Then I go to the South, and it's just like a whole new scene. And they got their people, and they think they people are just as good as New Yorkers, but y'all never heard of them, but they heard of y'all people.
Right.
So it was always like that. So my best friend, he really, and if he was here, he would swear to God that Kilo Ali is better than Jay-Z. Like, you can't tell him that. You can't tell him the Wu-Tang Clan is better than Yin Yang Twins. You can't. He's like, nigga, they got the girl twerking and popping. It's like, that's what matters to him. So that's what really made me. So so I told Rashad, Nas to me is top 5 greatest MCs alive, God MC. Like, I have to give him that, right? The same way you would give Avatar one of the greatest movies of all time. But I'd rather watch Juice. So what I was basically saying is I'd rather listen to Fab than I personally rather listen to Fab than Nas. And that's what I meant. But like, I listen to Nas, but I'll be honest with you. Y'all, you know this. Y'all both know. Y'all two, that side of the room, y'all know. 100, listen, if it's 100 niggas arguing with me, listen, if it's 100 guys arguing with me about Nas, y'all know only about 10 of them really know Nas music. The other ones are just the 90 that don't want to disappoint y'all.
From what era?
Period. Because what I'm saying is that you don't understand. Like, you don't understand. Like Jay-Z said, just because a nigga wear a kufi don't mean that he nice.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is that.
But he's that nice though.
You gotta understand something. I got cousins in the Bronx right now and Harlem right now that I swear to God, y'all, I'll sit on the corner with them and 3 minutes I'm talking. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? They just like, yo, B, you know, because the mathematics and this, you know, the like, what are you talking about, bro?
I don't like where this is going, right?
No, I'm just,
I don't like where this is going.
Like, yo,
I don't like where this is going.
You know, the political prisoners in the mathematics. My nigga. What are you talking about?
I don't like where this is going. Nah. How was this equating to Nasir Jones, though?
So
you saying
my point is that I personally,
He's saying stars and quasars.
Listen,
it's not on his
I am
playlist.
Listen, I am Illmatic.
Greatest album.
I know him, but word for word, I am an Illmatic. I like with all those albums, but I'm saying after a while, it got to the point where it was like you still going deeper into that. Like it's you got to be ready to listen.
So like it's
And I'm not dissing. Okay, let me tell you what I'm
so you
saying.
didn't listen to Kansas.
So
You not.
So let me tell you something.
Definitely did.
You don't want to watch. Listen, I want to. Okay, at night, every night I go to sleep, I got to go to sleep to a movie. I have to, but like, I can't go to sleep to Malcolm X. I go to sleep.
Nerve.
I don't want that in my subconscious when I'm sleeping, guys.
Hold on.
crazy.
Wait a minute.
You know what the problem
I'll
is?
watch it, but I don't want to go to sleep.
So what do you think about 3,000?
Andre?
Yeah,
Exactly.
He's
I heard you
incredible.
talk about 3,000.
He's incredible.
He's incredible, right?
You're not going to sleep to Love Below.
He had a
No.
flute. He played. He played
But I'm gonna do the music.
He got a whole album playing the flute.
Listen, let me tell you something. If you are from Atlanta,
Right.
you know Andre 3000. We all went to
100%.
high school with them.
Yeah.
Those are real Atlanta niggas. This new Atlanta is not. Andre is real Atlanta. He from the southwest. Like, it's just different. But your point is, Andre is ill. But I understand if he's in my top. But I understand if he's not in yours. Like, if you say Andre, if y'all told me Wu-Tang is better than Outkast, as crazy as that sounds to me.
Yeah.
I could respect it because I'm like, y'all was on the block when Wu-Tang was out. Like, I got cousin that was on the block when.
That sounds crazy to you?
What?
To me.
That what?
That Wu-Tang is better than Outkast. To me. Outkast is the only group in history that every album went bigger to the last one. They want 10 million and then they win album of the year.
So it's numbers.
No, it's
Judging off numbers.
album of the, you can't buy a Grammy, baby. You can't buy that. That's your peers.
What was the last album? It was the movie joint.
Speaking
Right?
about love, no, I don't
Speaking
count
about
that.
Love Below.
No, what was it? No. Don't run from that.
I'm like,
Don't run from it. It was the movie joint.
He had amnesia.
What was the name of the movie?
I forgot. Idlewild.
Ottawa. Stop it. Bigger. Stop.
Hold on. What you say? Wu-Tang has never had a movie.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying they did.
I hate that I gotta do this because I love Method Man. I respect and love Wu. I just was in the South, so you gotta understand. I'm coming to New York when I'm 14, and my cousin's playing me Biggie and tell me this new kid named Biggie, and I'm going to the South, and they playing Raheem. It's like it was just different. In the South, they had the girls.
I'm not mad at the Outkast thing because they got classic albums.
New York, like nobody's on the block. I don't want my girl wearing Timberlands on the block.
No women in New York.
I don't want my girl on the block wearing Timberlands. Somebody, yo, did you hear her? Did you hear what that nigga said last night in that verse?
So
why did you hear it, baby girl?
When did Atlanta take over?
Hey, stop.
Hold on. What we hold on.
Wait. The Nas thing. Can we just stop the slander?
First of all, I want to say something.
Can we
want to
agree
say
to
this.
that?
I want to say this. Let me tell you where the slander Nas started. As a guy on my show named Jack Dance, who's from Queens. He calls himself the queasiest nigga in history. Isn't that, am I right or wrong? Does he not do that to everybody in the room? Right. So Jack is arguing with me about Nas. Like, man, I'm like, you crazy? Nas versus Andre 3000? What are you talking about? So I can spit any Andre verse.
Yeah.
Spit a Nas verse. Then you're like, ha.
You asked the wrong person.
So now Shot Money comes and Shot Money is like, ask me. So then I would be on there and I'll tell everybody, like, I know, you named your son after Nas, if I'm not mistaken, so I know you know a Nas verse. But like, I'll challenge somebody like Obi, I'm like, give me a Nas verse.
I'm not the one.
See?
I've seen this scorecard.
I'm just not good at anybody's verses. I'm just a type of person.
But man, how you feel growing up in New York City
You know.
in the 90s?
God, man.
Yeah, okay.
It was written Illmatic, Stillmatic.
One of the greatest.
First of all, I'm one of the few people that believe It Was Written was his best album.
That's me.
Really?
That's me. I agree with that.
It was written too. I am, and it was written.
No. Look.
It was written.
I'm gonna tell you something real quick.
I Am is someplace.
Not I am. So we had this conversation. One of the best hip hop nights of my life.
Let's hear it.
Me and Shadi are having dinner with Nas.
Ooh.
And I'm telling him, yo, It Was Written is a great album.
Yes.
Illmatic is the greatest hip hop album of all time. And I was like, what you think? We asking him.
What
He's
he
like, it's like, it's like kids. You know what I'm saying? Right?
Subjective.
So we went on it for about 3 hours. We having red wine. We going in. I'm telling him how that album changed my life.
I love it.
Like he was the first person I wanted to be. You know what I'm saying? Like it's different. It wasn't like I want to be Jordan. I wanted to be Nas, right? And then about 2 months later, we see him again at dinner. The same day we see him, I think Rolling Stone puts out the best hip hop albums of all time. What's number one?
Illmatic?
Illmatic.
Illmatic
You know what Nas said? He was like, yo, you got it, Troy.
Illmatic is a safe bet. That's 90%. I seen Fat Jerry. Illmatic is a safe bet, but it was written as a cultural favorite.
It was.
What did I Am have? I want to talk to the mayor.
No.
That's I Am. Okay, that's okay. Go. Yeah, I'm just making sure I'm confusing the albums. Like I ain't going.
It was written.
I'm being honest. I'm a
Street Dreams.
To me,
I Gave You Power. I Rule the World.
It was like a brand new martial arts style. It was written like the mastery of it.
Right. The
Where
fly.
I was like,
the fly.
wow.
Yeah.
But you got to understand.
That's when Big was like, took home ready to die, study shit. Now you got some credit shit out the blue. Now you want some money shit,
right?
Because it was written, it was fly. I was fly, the suits, all of that.
Yeah.
It was elevation.
Illmatic was grimy in the lobby with the army jacket.
They said,
but let's also be clear though. Illmatic was for men, niggas on the block, in Queens, in Bronx.
New York.
I'm saying, like, I don't want to say niggas, you know what I'm saying? But I'm on the black day. I'm trying to be the N-word, but men didn't sound right, so I gotta say niggas. So, but it was for niggas that was on the block, that was trying to get educated. You know, I know them dudes.
Illmatic
was in Illmatic. Nobody in here was.
Here's the best way to describe Illmatic.
Okay,
Illmatic is a portrait of New York City in the early 90s.
Exactly. I can tell.
Yeah.
And I wasn't there. I left in 90. I left in 91. So it's like
it was Tribe Called Quest when you left.
So let's do this before we leave.
Showbiz and AG is from my neighborhood. They from my building,
Bronx.
right? So I remember Showbiz and AG drop, right? So you got Dots of Fate, all this stuff. But I'm saying I was still young in it. I didn't get into hip hop till I was like really into it till I was like 14. And when Outkast dropped, that shit changed my life.
Okay.
It was like I pissed him off. I told him I think Soul Food Goody Mob album, it made a more bigger impact on my life than Illmatic. Me personally.
You was wearing turbans?
So Goody Mob didn't win.
And Goody Mob was talking about FBI surveillance and all of that.
Yeah, but it was slower.
Nah, they was like the original Illuminati dudes.
Yes, they was.
They was the original Illuminati.
Peeking in my window.
No.
See, I can sing it.
All right, let's do
Sing a
this.
Nas hook. I might have been able to follow it. I might be. It's just wordy. By the way, I'm in the music business. I make my money from words.
Let's do this. Let's do this
go.
to balance the scales. We talked about New York. Let's talk about Atlanta.
Please.
Who's your on your Mount Rushmore of Atlanta?
Outkast.
That's two people.
Outkast as a group?
That's two people. That's
Outkast
two
as a
people.
group.
That's one spot or two people?
Outkast as a group.
No, one person. It got to be one person.
Oh, well, Andre and Big Boy deserve to be half of it.
That's two spots.
And then I'm gonna give it to T.I. I think T.I. is the most important rapper in Atlanta history.
I agree.
Shout out to Tip.
Tip is the most important rapper in Atlanta history, and then I'm gonna give the fourth one to Future.
So why are we disrespecting Jeezy? And have we forgotten that he had the biggest? You good? No, because I feel
if I didn't have Outkast as two, it would have been between Jeezy and Chris.
Because I see a lot of people forget. I see a lot of people forget Jeezy. Like they talking about Gucci. Look, I like Gucci. Gucci didn't have no relevance up here. Or when I was in school in Baltimore, when Trap 101 came out.
Yes.
T.I.
does not have an album better than Thug Motivation 101.
Look, this is a real story.
T.I. does not have an album better.
When Thug Motivation 101 came out that night, I listened to it with my man in his car. And by the end of the night, I was in a crack spot.
Fucking did.
Okay.
That's serious.
Coincidentally.
Okay,
That's serious.
okay. So let me tell you. Okay, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something.
I'm not
Like you know in New York, like you know in New York, like certain guys here like matter to y'all. Like you know in New York, like certain guys matter here. Like it's like Math has a reputation where it's like like he just said, I'll walk in the middle of your projects and call you outside and fight you in front of like nigga, what are you talking about? Like you're gonna get killed. That's how he moves, right? So New York has different ways of moving, and Atlanta is different. Most people, Jeezy is Atlanta, but you got to understand, like, I was just at me and Shaka Zulu, shout out to Shaka, he calls me like, yo, Ray, come roll with me to this little thing I'm doing. I go in there, I see Tip. Tip is the city. He cares about the city. Jeezy moved away for a little while, and then he came back. But Jeezy is more like
entrenched in Atlanta.
Jeezy is more like he is, but from like
outside.
Meet me over here, smoke a cigar with me. Tip, it's like somebody's trying to kill himself in Bankhead. Tip is like, I'm on the way.
You know what they told us? Because I'm like, yo, all these, like even 21 Savage when he was talking after that versus battle, 21 Savage was on Clubhouse like, yo, we ain't listened to Jeezy, we listened to Gucci. Gucci is the dude. But they was like, you gotta understand, when Jeezy was at his peak, he ain't do songs with,
he didn't come to the block.
When Gucci did the exact opposite. Gucci did song with Migos. They did song with the Young Thug, 21. So they have a reverence for him because he extended himself, where Jeezy was more close. He did songs with his crew, but that crew didn't really go anywhere. So it's like the reverence for him in Atlanta is going to be different because he didn't put his arms around the whole entire city.
I think he's on the Rushmore.
Yeah, who, Jeezy? Yeah. Well, if Outkast could be one, I think about him, but you got to look at it. I think Outkast ran the 90s, Tip ran the 2000s, up until, and then Future took over around 2012 and has been running. So to me, it's like those three.
Well, they both was running it.
Jeezy was,
because Jeezy's in that 2000.
No. Listen, I understand what y'all saying, but y'all looking at
Atlanta. You talking about Atlanta?
I'm talking about in the city. You got to understand something, dog. Y'all got to understand something. Tip's crew, Doug, OG Clay, who passed away, like his crew. That's our city. Like, you ain't gonna go nowhere and see somebody from Tip's crew. You're not gonna see nobody with Jeezy nowhere. It's almost like how they talk about how Master P and Birdman was in New Orleans. Like Master P was like the outside guy that was putting New Orleans on the map, but he was messing with West Coast people, and Baby was the homegrown. Tip is the homegrown Atlantan. Jeezy was from Macon. He came to Atlanta. We embraced him because Atlanta's like that. And then, but he left when he started popping. He moved. I don't even know if he live in Atlanta now.
It's like if you would say Dipset versus French Montana.
Yeah,
like French Montana, so Lurkits and all, but
way bigger.
He's in LA. He's not like in. You're gonna see Jim Jones at one point in time,
like chilling.
And that's what make you love him more. So that's why I would say T.I., because T.I. is the most important artist. But I think the best musical artist from Atlanta outside of Outkast is Future now. I think he passed Tip.
What about Lil Baby?
It's too early. And I would say, so this is how I look at it. As big as Thug is, as fire as Thug is, I still would put Thug as 1B under Future's 1A for their generation. Because remember, I was Future's A&R at a point where he was trying to sign Thug. So I remember I got hit with a cease and desist from Warner, like, y'all can't. So Future was on before Thug. That's why I got to give him that, because he kind of paved the way. Yeah, he paved the way. But Thug influence is crazy. But Future, to me, musically passed Tip to me. I think it's
because the catalog is
it
hasn't stopped.
Like most artists is this. Most artists is really this. His has been kind of this. So he's gotten bigger every year compared to, like, you know, Tip.
And he puts out music all the time.
And that's another thing. It's like, that's why I had to give it to him musically. Because Tip, to me, his music didn't age as gracefully as Jeezy's did to me, but like I'm a music guy. Like, I loved, and I'm always like in the studio, like, what you want to make? Like, who would you remake? Whose sound? Jeezy's sound is more today, but Tip is just the guy, like,
too important.
Nigga, the Crips, the Bloods, if you a street nigga, if you anything in Atlanta, if you a governor, if you anything, you probably know Tip got his number. He's that much to the city. And that's why we love him so much.
Solid. Both of them, solid.
Yeah, both of them, but he can't, like, it's a kid, like the mayor. I remember when the pandemic happened and they was doing the riots, when a little girl got killed at that Wendy's, the mayor went on TV and said, Tip, Killer Mike, get down here. Like, it's like, those are our guys. So Tip is that, and he's Killer Mike's size. So that's why I got to give it to him. And Killer Mike don't get enough credit. I'm going to say that every chance I get. He's one of the greatest to ever do it, but we don't give him credit because it came later in life.
He was on the Idlewild soundtrack.
But it came later in life, though. It did come later in life. That's how it started. By the way, we can argue all day. I told y'all, that's debatable with y'all. Me and Punch want to argue with y'all. That's debatable.
We gotta do that. We gotta set that up.
Because Punch is like, because I understand what y'all saying, but I think that's the thing about hip hop. We don't allow hip hop to be. It's almost like it's New York's. No, hear me out. Hear me out. No, hear me out real quick. Let me tell you what I mean. What I mean by that is like y'all remember, I'm doing a podcast in the South. Every time I speak on East Coast hip hop, shut your country ass. Like, y'all go read the comments. Shut your country ass up. You know, it's like, damn, nigga, I don't have an opinion. Or I say, Future, he's white. It's like,
Atlanta's been in driver's seat for 20 years.
Of culture, but y'all own the conversation. Atlanta has the culture. New York holds the conversation. Whatever New York say is what's going. It matters. If we say something in Atlanta, it don't matter. Like,
all right. So would you allow like somebody that runs like a dojo in Atlanta to tell like
what's a dojo?
A dojo.
Karate. Okay.
Yeah. Would you allow like somebody that has a dojo in Atlanta to tell a Shaolin monk like you ain't kicking right?
So he just called Atlanta niggas Shaolin monks.
Yeah.
That's a crazy story.
He just called us Shaolin monks. That's what I'm saying. I get it. I'm not mad at it, but you can't get mad when Atlanta starts talking, feeling like they that.
Shout out to Atlanta.
Thank you, brother.
That's 2025.
But yeah, it's real.
Atlanta.
Like a Japanese versus a Chinese, like samurai and ninja. That would have been more.
What do you think about the winners competition? Right.
Yeah.
Cash flow.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah. Right.
I think
I want.
Cash Flow is the favorite.
Yo, he shut it. Yeah. He shut it down with one rhyme.
He from New York.
He barbershop joint.
Nigga, listen,
Cash Flow and Struggle.
No, I'm asking.
Listen, I didn't expect nobody from Atlanta to come in there with no bars. I ain't gonna lie to you. I didn't expect nobody from Atlanta to come with no bars.
Oh, that's crazy.
I expect them to come with some flow.
Here's the beauty of what you guys are doing, right?
Okay.
Because yes, there is one winner, but technically everybody that's on is a winner, right?
Absolutely.
Because they're getting the platform to showcase their talent.
Yeah, it's about the platform. It's about showcasing yourself. Like, that's what I want artists to understand. It's not always about being the full package. Sometimes it's about just saying, here's a little bit of what I do, what you think. The world, like, that's how I started. Like, my first 6 months of putting up content was on a cell phone. And everywhere I went, people was like, yo, I love your podcast. I'm like, I don't even have a podcast. I'm just putting content on. I wasn't even putting it on YouTube. It was just on Instagram. So, you know, you just got to start where you are. That's why I was doing it. Like, just go in there and just rap. If you can rap, you don't need no beat. Just rap. Give the audience a chance. And I'll hope somebody from this gets signed. I'm gonna make that happen.
When is the visuals of what you're doing? Are you gonna put this together for one?
Absolutely.
Full length situation?
On our IG right now at theCut app, you can go and find like the competitors for every city, and then we have another IG off the top freestyle specifically for this competition, and that's where we're about to flood all the competition's content so you can see it. And honestly, like I said, like there's some incredible artists here. Somebody's got to get signed. Like
this is one kid, Sluggo. I swear, bro. If I was in it, I'll sign him right now. If I was in it, like I right now, that kid is incredible and he's hungry.
New York.
That don't surprise us.
New York is. I want y'all to understand, but guess what? I'm gonna make the music. That's what I do.
No, we'll call Nelly and see if he can write it for us.
I hope he can. I hope he can. Nelly is fire.
Shout out to Nelly.
He sold 10 million records.
Shout out to Nelly
from St. Louis.
Country Grammar and Nellyville, and he got a bunch of #1 singles.
Diamond albums.
Yeah. That's right. Not many people
with
do
no
that.
Cosign.
In
my world, that's Nas type level.
That's Nas type level.
Let me say something. I gotta stop.
No.
If Nelly was from Westchester, if Nelly was from Yonkers, if he was anything in New York, Nelly would be considered one of the greats of all time, and he deserves
only
it.
Dude
But he's
with
from
units and Pimp Juice and us.
That's the best he got. Jake, by the way, shout out to Hoffa for giving it to him.
He's a legend as far as his stat. Selling a bunch of records doesn't always equate to being respected as the best rapper.
Can you? I want you to expound on that a little bit. Can you?
I mean, that's a fact.
I want him to expound on it. You're right, but I would love to hear your reasoning.
Can I take?
Oh, where you at? Pump my camera, Punch. I need you here. It's that.
Nah, Punch. Not this time.
How many records did Ice Baby sell?
Ice Baby sold to white babies.
Right.
You can't win with me. Ice Baby sold to white babies. He wasn't like third base. Shout out to MC Search. He wasn't like third base. He was on the block.
Yeah, but so Too Legit to Quit sold a lot of records.
And then guess what? As soon as he started, he was. off to the races. Go over there. You watch the movie. When you see the movie, when you see when he's performing Too Legit, the audience, you know, he was performing with white people too.
Right.
So sometimes it's not that.
And Nelly wasn't.
That's a great. See,
It is.
I'm gonna give you props.
There it is.
I like a nigga that can argue. That was good. That was good. But you know, Nelly had to. Nelly still came from St. Louis where nobody cared about him, so he had to do a lot more than just make a good song. He had to prove he deserved to be here, and he's one of the best songwriter artists in the world.
He had to live in Harlem for a couple of years.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he did.
By the way, I lived in Harlem. I lived in the Bronx for a couple of years. Listen, if everybody watching this, everybody should live in New York. No, everybody should live in New York for 1 or 2 years because it's going to make your ass harder than you ever been. They ain't going to say hello to you. They don't care if you're getting robbed on the train. It's not my business.
It's not my business.
It's not my business. Yo, watch that over there.
Your business, lady.
You get domestic violence. It's your business. You want to be next. You want to be next. It's going to toughen you. So New York is good for that. But, you know.
Gentlemen, this has been a very fun conversation.
Absolutely.
Let them know where they can find the information in regards to watching the content, and then each individual, all of y'all socials, what y'all got going on, so they can tap in.
Like I said, like you can go find all the content at theCut app on IG, TikTok, all platforms. The freestyle competition itself is off the top. .freestyles, and yeah, we're gonna post all that stuff like this Friday, so yeah, please come watch it. Like I said, Sluggo, Deja, Quisha, I mean, we got some really fire content in there.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And then the individual info for everything.
Oh yeah, follow me at Mr_Obi1, OBIWAN. Yeah, on all platforms.
You can tell he's smart. I'm just Ray Daniels everywhere. Just search. I'm listening to you talking. I'm like, I know your shit. I'm still like, that's Obi-Wan? That's what
Obi-Wan.
That's hard.
That's what it spelled?
I didn't know what it meant. I thought it was like your whole name spelled out.
Kenobi, I mean.
Oh, got Star Wars.
Yeah, you have to take it
hard. Fire.
And Math, where can we watch? We can watch episodes now, right? Even though you're not in the shop currently, we still can watch.
Yes, you can still watch episodes.
You interviewed BG, right?
Yes. And that did pretty good. That did pretty good. But I'm eager to get back in the shop. I love the shop.
We need MEO back.
Yes.
Definitely gotta get you back in the shop.
I need the other opinions in the room.
Bring MEO back. Get it.
All right, guys. Thank you for rocking with us. See you next week.
Thank you.
Peace.